The life you want is not waiting on a new partner, a new job, a new city. It's actually waiting on a new mindset. Let me explain. Your mindset is the filter through which you experience everything. And whether you're conscious of them or not, your beliefs actually shape your personality and your sense of self, which influence the actions that you take in your life. If there's something in your life that you're experiencing that you don't want and you change your mindset about it, you're able to change your life at its core and not just put a band-aid on whatever you're experiencing that's unfavorable. So many women are operating on outdated programming, and a lot of these beliefs that we have aren't actually ours, they were handed to us. From childhood, we had role models and parents, good or bad, however that affected you, that shaped how we act and behave. And even society as little girls made us feel like we had to be or look a certain way. So much of our programming comes from external influence and not from who we truly are. If we were to go back and be given the choice to choose how we show up in the world based off of our core self, it probably would look a lot different than who we are today. Mindset work is about rewriting that programming, identifying the beliefs that were forced on you that you want to keep, and then the ones that don't serve you that you want to let go of. I'm about to walk you through 5 mindset shifts that are going to make you take a deep, honest, reflective look at yourself and your life. When you're able to identify the patterns and programming that's been holding you back, you can release them and you can reestablish new ones that align more with who you want to be and how you want to live. So let's get into the exact mindset upgrades that separate women who settle from women who get what they want. The first mindset shift is from victimhood and excuses to radical accountability. Now, before I get into this one, I want to make a very clear disclaimer. This topic does not apply to women who have suffered from violence or abuse. It does not apply to a woman who was raped. It doesn't matter what she was wearing, what time she was out, who she was with. It does not apply to her. It does not apply to domestic violence situations. It doesn't apply to psychological abuse from caretakers or any horrible situation that you could think of. It does not apply. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now that that's clear, this still might be triggering to some of you, and that's okay. Because honestly, if you're triggered by this, maybe you need to hear this. Victimhood is one of the worst mental states to be in, and you may not even realize all of the ways that you're identifying as a victim in your life. Victimhood gives you something to point the finger at, like a toxic ex or boss, your parents, some kind of circumstance, and it feels good because while you're pointing the finger at someone else, it allows you to take the responsibility off of yourself. Victimhood looks like staying in a relationship that you know is toxic, you know is bad for you, but you're going to blame the other person for treating you poorly instead of asking yourself, why am I still in this relationship? Why am I allowing this person to treat me so poorly? It looks like being 20 minutes late to work for the 3rd time that week and blaming it on the traffic on the way in because there was an accident on the highway. But instead of taking accountability and saying, well, I actually woke up at the last minute. I snoozed my alarm 3 times. If I had just got the hell up earlier, I wouldn't have been late. You're blaming it on external circumstances, where in reality, any kind of minor inconvenience would have made you late anyway, because it's not about the inconveniences you experience on the way. It's about you not getting the fuck out of bed. Maybe you keep complaining about your job and how you're so underpaid and underappreciated, and your boss doesn't acknowledge or value your efforts. When was the last time you tried to apply for a different job? When was the last time you had a conversation with your boss about your pay, about your responsibilities? When was the last time you took initiative to make a change? When you live in that state of mind, you hand away all of your leverage. If your boyfriend doesn't treat you right, you're in a bad mood, you're not happy. If your boss doesn't say, hey, great job on that project, you're in a bad mood, you're not happy. Doing that is tying your entire future and your emotional state to people and circumstances that you cannot control. And even though all those things may be true, your boyfriend might treat you like shit. Your boss might not value you. You might encounter some unfortunate circumstances on the way to work. You have to analyze your role in those situations and how you're contributing to them continuing. And to be clear, not everything bad that happens to you is your fault. It may not be your fault that you're getting picked on at work. Some people just aren't going to like you, especially if you work corporate. Like me, I have one-sided beef with women who are twice my age. For what reason? I couldn't tell you. But unfortunately, some people just aren't going to like you, and those people might be in positions of power or positions higher than you. You can't control your coworkers' actions towards you, but what you can control is how much you tolerate and if you decide to stay in that kind of environment. You might have dated somebody that love bombed you at first for the first 4 months and then did a complete 180. That's out of your control. But what is in your control is how long you decide to ignore the red flags before you leave. Accountability is not blaming and shaming yourself. It is taking an honest, reflective look and asking yourself, what part did I play in this? What can I do differently moving forward? Accountability allows you to recognize how your belief systems and your actions, or lack thereof, might have contributed to the outcome. And that gives you the foundational knowledge on how to create a different outcome. This might look like setting boundaries that you've avoided. It might look like saying no when you usually say yes. Accountability is going to look different in various situations, but the core theme remains the same. Stop outsourcing your life to victimhood and excuses. Next, we're going to get into a comfort-seeking mindset versus a growth-seeking mindset. Now, we all know comfort is irresistible. It's being asleep in your warm bed in your icebox room when it's 20 degrees outside in the dead of winter in the Northeast, but all of a sudden your alarm goes off at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's the first alarm that goes off that wakes you up out of your deep sleep, and now you know you got to get out of bed. And getting out of bed sucks for most people. But just like if you don't get out of that bed, you'll never make any progress in your day. If you don't leave your comfort zone, you're never going to make any progress in your life. You cannot grow and be comfortable at the same time. They are literally polar opposites that pull you in one direction or the other. Every meaningful change, a new relationship, a new job, whatever it is going to require discomfort. You have to accept that whatever you're going after in life is probably not going to feel good while you're doing it. And that's where the saying, choose your hard, comes from. Since growth is so uncomfortable, a lot of people avoid it, but that doesn't mean you're making your life easier. You're just choosing a different type of hard. Going to the gym is hard. Lifting weights hurts. Running is hard. Doing cardio sucks. But you know what else is hard? Looking in the mirror and hating what you see. Going to the doctor and finding out you have high blood pressure. Choose your hard. Starting a social media account and making videos of yourself and putting them online, terrifying. It's hard. You're going to get judged. You're going to feel cringy. You're going to feel like an imposter. But you know what else is hard? Never doing it and then feeling the regret later. Knowing that you have potential to do something with your life other than what you're doing right now and never following through. You must continuously make the conscious choice to choose growth over comfort. You have to teach yourself that discomfort means you're actually moving forward. If it feels a little scary, that's a really good indicator that you're probably doing something right that's stretching you into a new version of yourself. As humans, our brains are amazing, but they are still wired from thousands of years ago for survival, and anything that comes with risk or the unknown equals certain death. So we avoid that at all costs. So you have to override that instinct and know that the unknown does not equal death. It just equals growth. If you want to get different results in your life, you have to overcome that urge to keep playing it safe. On a positive note, the more you choose growth, the more your comfort zone expands over time. And what once felt terrifying, public speaking, dating, advocating for yourself, it becomes second nature. That's how growth works. Today's discomfort is tomorrow's comfort baseline. Growth is uncomfortable, but it is where everything you want is waiting. The next mindset shift you need to be implementing is going from instant gratification to delayed gratification and long-term thinking. We live, especially here in the United States, in the ultimate culture of quick fixes and instant gratification. Social media shows us that we can transform overnight with a routine, a product, a hack, and it's simply just not true. Anything worth having and worth working towards is going to take the work over time to achieve it. Instant gratification is the enemy of long-term success. Why is that? Instant gratification keeps you in this constant loop of starting up and then quitting. You go to the gym for 2 weeks, you don't see results, you quit. You post content for a month, nothing goes viral, you quit. You go on a couple dates, you don't find a guy you like, you stop. This constant cycle of starting and stopping is what's holding you back from seeing compounded results. The people who are successful probably aren't any more talented than you are. They just put in the work for a long enough time to see their results snowball into success. But if you're addicted to that quick payoff, the quick success, the quick dopamine, you're never going to see the results that you want to see. And even if you do see them for a hot second, it's never going to last. What really changes your life is the boring, unsexy, repetitive actions that don't pay off right away. If your goal is to squat 200 pounds, you're probably not going to achieve that in 3 months when your starting weight is squatting 25 pounds. You're going to have to put the slow, repetitive, unsexy squats from 25 pounds up until 200 pounds to be able to reach that goal. And that could take you 6 months. It could take you a year. You're making TikTok videos every day. They're getting 10 views, 50 views, 200 views for a long time. For 6 months, you're like, why isn't this working? Why am I not viral yet? But those videos that you're constantly putting out, the unsexy, repetitive motions, are refining your skills to build up to creating that viral video. Each squat feels like nothing. Each video feels like nothing. But over time, especially a long period of time, those actions that you're doing are compounding to create that overnight success. If you have actually genuinely tried to take action to go after what you want, or to build a business or a social media platform or a life that you wanted, and you stopped, I want you to take a genuine, honest look at why you stopped. If the answer isn't, I've tried it, found out I didn't like it, I want to go a different way, and you still want to pursue that thing that you initially gave up on, chances are you thought it wasn't working, so you gave up. Don't put a timeline on your results. You have to hold out for the future and keep going. The time is going to pass anyway, and one way you're absolutely guaranteed to never make it to where you want to go is if you give up. So if the time's going to pass anyway, you might as well keep trying. Next, we need to talk about the mindset shift from hustle and burnout to aligned discipline. Now, I know a ton of us, myself included, myself especially, we get this random burst of motivation at like 3 o'clock in the morning. We're like, okay, I'm going to change my whole life. I'm going to go back to the gym 6 days a week. I'm going to eat only whole foods, chicken breast and broccoli only. I'm going to post on TikTok 3 times a day, grow my following as fast as possible. But then when the motivation fades, we stop, all within a 2-week period. Now, it is possible to see incredible change in your life, but it's not going to happen overnight, and it's probably not going to happen all at once either. Going from never working out to a 6-day gym routine is a drastic change, and it's not a sustainable adjustment for most people, especially when you pair it with other crazy changes like only eating chicken breasts and broccoli when you get takeout 3 nights a week. How do you reach your goals without hating the process and getting burned out? The answer is aligned discipline. This means taking realistic, consistent action, but also making sure that action aligns with your values and aligns with your bigger vision. You have to ask yourself, is what I'm doing getting me closer to the life that I want to live? Or is what I'm doing just busy work that makes me feel like I'm making progress, but it's not really getting me anywhere? Psychologically, aligned discipline builds intrinsic motivation because you're doing things that actually matter to you. It's about co-creating from your purpose rather than grinding against it, or grinding to get towards something that doesn't align with your purpose. Keeping with our gym example, if your goal is to grow a bigger booty, follow a 3-day per week tailored program that's going to get you those results instead of going to the gym gung-ho 6 days a week, doing random machines, not following a plan, and burning out 2 months later. Following that program consistently gives you the motivation to go work out because you know after every session, you're getting closer to the results that you want to see. Another good example is what we do to try and make more money. We see these TikToks constantly with people saying they're making so much money on TikTok Shop, drop shipping, digital marketing, UGC content. And sure, people have seen success doing these things, there's no doubt. But if you were to try to pursue them, think about what that means for you. Are you disciplined enough that in 6 months, when the motivation fades and your daily posts for TikTok Shop ads are still stuck in 200 view jail, to keep going? Probably not, because your passion is probably not to post on TikTok Shop. You just want the quick money and probably the flexibility that comes with making money online. But once you realize that quick money isn't coming quick, then you give up. Now think about what you're really passionate about. Is it fitness? Is it animals? When you've really taken the time to sit with yourself, find out what you're passionate about and what you're drawn towards, figure out how to make a living based off of that passion. And I promise you, taking aligned action and having aligned discipline to go after those goals that actually light a fire in you or mean something to you is so much easier than forcing yourself to make these stupid TikToks to sell a product from Alibaba that you could give a shit about. Women who embrace aligned discipline wind up accomplishing more with less stress. They get what they want faster because they're taking action that aligns with who they want to be and what they want to do in their life. And they also enjoy building it because it feels authentic to them. Last but most definitely not least, we have the mindsets that, in my opinion, are the foundations of how we perceive our experiences in this lifetime, and that is the scarcity mindset to the abundance mindset. Living in a scarcity mindset means that you hold the belief that there's only so much to go around. There's limited resources. There's only a certain amount of good men. There's only a limited amount of job opportunities. There's only so much money in circulation. When you live in scarcity, every rejection feels catastrophic and every setback feels permanent because you're holding the belief that there's nothing else out there for you. Living in a scarcity mindset makes you cling to people and situations that are not right for you. You stay in a relationship for too long with somebody who's toxic because you don't think there's someone out there who's better for you. You stay in a job that underpays you and undervalues you because you don't think you have the skills to move on, or there's not another opportunity like the one that you have that's waiting for you. And for some women, a scarcity mindset turns life into a competition. We all know a girl like this, or maybe we were that girl ourselves at one point or another, where we get on social media and we see another woman and she's so beautiful, and we get jealous because we think her beauty takes away from our own, or she's so successful, she's independent, she has her own business, and we're jealous because we think there's not enough for both of us to win. There's a popular saying where attention goes, energy flows, and if you're perceiving your life through a lens of lack, all you're going to notice is lack. Choosing to live life through that perspective is keeping you from the abundance of opportunities that are right in front of you. Living in abundance means that you understand there's not just one shot at love, at the career of your dreams, at the money that you desire. There are actually endless opportunities, and if one doesn't work out, another one will. If you're going through a breakup, you're going to find somebody else after that who's better aligned with you. If you lose your job or get rejected from an application, you're gonna find another job, and chances are it's better than the one that you lost and that you got rejected from. When you stop believing every closed door is a permanent rejection, you can move forward to the thousands of other doors behind that door and open one of them. The more you train yourself to perceive your life through an abundance mindset, is the more secure you're going to be in yourself as a woman. For example, when you're in a relationship, even if it's a healthy one, you're not going to be anxiously attached to that man because you're secure in knowing, God forbid that relationship doesn't work out, there are going to be other opportunities for you to have love in this lifetime. When you sit next to a woman in a room and she is gorgeous, she is radiating beauty and confidence, she's successful in her career, she's got the perfect outfit, nails done, manicured, you don't feel anything. Actually, you do feel something. You feel inspired because you know that her beauty doesn't take away from your own. You know there's enough room for the both of you to be successful, powerful, amazing, inspiring women. And that doesn't make you feel less than to be sitting next to somebody like that. It actually makes you feel inspired to become more like that because you know there's room for both of you to win. Don't let the illusion of scarcity distract you from the opportunities that are meant for you. So you've heard all the mindset shifts. Now the question is, what are you going to do with them? If the answer is anything but deeply reflect on my life and apply them immediately, that is the wrong answer. I'm sorry. Your life won't change just by watching videos like this by themselves. You have to go practice what you learn. So go do that. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next videos.